Thinking about making Las Vegas your next place to call home?
Well, before you pack your bags, make sure you watch this entire video so you're prepared with tips, tricks, and knowledge before you make your move.
In today's episode, we are going to talk to you about everything you're going to need to know before making your move here to Las Vegas. I'm Vicki.
And I'm Kyle.
And we've helped hundreds of people buy, sell, and invest here in Las Vegas.
So we can help you too. Simply reach out to the information below or in the description, and we can help you find your next place to call home.
Let's get into it.
The first on our list is cost of living. Now, of course, the median sales price for a single-family detached, which is a regular house, not a condo or townhome, is about $480,000 right now if you're looking to buy, and that's the most common sales price in Las Vegas.
That's right. And if you are looking for a more in-depth look about the cost of living here in Las Vegas, Kyle and I actually go over our bills and the cost of living. So we made a video on that, and you can find that in the description below.
You see a full video on the cost of living, but what we can tell you is that we asked some people in town what was one thing that they wanted to know that they didn't know before they got here, and it was a wide response for everyone saying they wish they knew that auto insurance and auto registration were a little bit more expensive here. So when we're talking about the cost of living, we want you to not be surprised when you find out you got to smog your gas vehicle every year, you got to register your vehicle every single year, and of course we do have some expensive insurance costs because this is a 24-hour town, which means there's higher probability of your car being in an accident because there's so many vehicles on the road all day and night, being that it's a large tourist destination. So check out our video in the description on the cost of living, and you'll get dialed in to make sure that you're not falling for any tricks or seeing any missing hidden payments that you weren't aware of. Now we're going to talk about how to find the right neighborhood for you.
That's right. We have a relocation guide that will absolutely help you determine what location or neighborhood feels right for you. But just so you guys know, there are so many neighborhoods that cater to so many other people, so you can find your niche or find exactly where you want to be, whether that is a family-friendly community, a 55 and older community, or for working professionals.
We do have a lot of resources about finding the right neighborhood. One of them is our free relocation guide you could download in the description below. But another one is we have videos on many of these communities. So if you're interested in learning more about Sky Canyon, we have a full video playlist on Sky Canyon. If you're interested in the 55 and up or age-restricted communities or senior communities, we have an entire video going over all the senior communities so you could choose which one's best for you. And of course, other places like the lakes and other communities like Inspirada or Henderson or Summerlin, all great neighborhoods, and we could help you dial those in. And if you can't figure it out from all of our videos and watching us explain and show you what they look like, just give us a call. But in the meantime, I'm going to drop all those videos in the description so you guys have everything you need to keep watching to help figure out what and where you want to move to.
Next on our list is weather. Now, Las Vegas boasts over 300 days of the sun, but just so you know, there are many brutal days that will go beyond 100 degrees. So keep that in mind. If you can't deal with the hot weather, it gets pretty hot here.
Definitely, and there are some options for cooling off like Lake Las Vegas or going all the way down to, of course, Lake Mead and the Colorado River, which give you a great spot. Or you could go up to Mount Charleston to cool off where it's a much higher elevation. It's much cooler there. But again, be prepared for a hot summer where we're going to have many months over 100 degrees. But more importantly, remember, we only get about 4 inches of average rainfall a year. So it's not very wet here. When people say it's a dry heat, it certainly is a dry heat. And also, don't get it twisted, it does get pretty cold here from time to time too. So in the winter, you might find yourself needing an actual coat. But in the summertime, try to plan accordingly. Maybe do your jogging in the mornings before it gets too hot. Or maybe find an indoor athletic club during the highest months of the summer. That way you can work out inside.
Next on our list is transportation and traffic. And while Las Vegas does have decent public transportation, I wouldn't necessarily recommend relying on it. We actually did have a friend who moved here from New York. He didn't have a driver's license, understandably so. And he just told us constantly he wasn't a fan of our public transportation system, and it wasn't something that he felt he could constantly rely on. And that is obviously compared to someone coming from New York. And I would just have to say that Las Vegas is very much a driving town.
It certainly is. Now, traffic really stacks up on the 15 freeway and around the strip. So if you're avoiding those areas entirely, that's really going to save you some time. Of course, the 215 freeway goes completely around the city, but it does back up with traffic during rush hour. So maybe you might want to take some surface streets. Another great road is Desert Inn, or as the locals call it, DI. That one takes you over the strip. If you're anywhere near the strip and you need to cross it, instead of waiting at the strip at the lights, you could take Desert Inn to cross completely over it and then go left or right to get north or south, whichever way you want. But again, like Vic said, this is very much a driving town, and it's a lot easier to get around to where you need to go because it is spread out. It's like 20 by 14 miles. It's a big town with over 2.8 million people pretty much. So you're going to want to figure out your driving plan when you get to town. And also, the median drive time here in Las Vegas is up from 15 minutes to 26 minutes. So most people are spending quite some time to get to and from work. So ask us to help you find a house that's closer to where your work location is if you're not working from home or remote.
All right, so we're back in the studio office. I am going to literally give you a master class on how to get around Las Vegas and how to make your life easy. Obviously, this freeway we talk about a lot is the 15 freeway. So people come a lot, millions of visitors a year from Southern California come up this way. And then if you're going to the northeast, that'll take you to Salt Lake City. And if you're going to the northwest, that will take you to Reno, Tahoe, Northern California, etc. And then if you're coming down this way, if you hadn't guessed it, this is Arizona right here. So once you cross the Colorado River, you're in Arizona. So the 93 will take you down to Arizona, Flagstaff, Phoenix, etc. So now, how do we make our lives easier? Well, first is knowing where all the traffic is going to be. It's mostly on this stretch of the 15 all the way into downtown. So from right here where downtown is pretty much in the center of town, all the way to the bottom of the 15. Or the bottom part of town. There's always traffic here. Not always, but that's where you're going to find it mostly. And then, of course, anywhere on the strip, there's tourists, shows, things, sporting events, everything's happening. There's just lots of people there. There's just high density of humans. But now let's talk about if you're actually living in town. So this is the 215 freeway. It's a great freeway that runs around the entire town. If you see it, maybe I'll zoom out a little bit. Goes around the whole town just like this. So if you're going to any of the fringes or outskirts of town, it's a fantastic thing to get you places. The next freeway I'm going to go over is it says 11, but no one calls it the 11. It's the 9395. This is the one that will take you to Arizona. That one comes straight into downtown and then continues on up towards Reno, Tahoe. So this is a great, almost like a diagonal freeway. It'll take you from the northwest to the southeast. That one's fantastic. But realistically, you just got to figure out where's traffic. So the further out you are, the less likely you're going to get hit traffic. The closer into the center, the more likely you're going to hit traffic. Anywhere on the 15 or the strip, you're probably going to hit some traffic. Now, it doesn't mean it doesn't get congested other places, but I'm going to highlight this little stretch of road. This is Summerlin Parkway. It's a freeway that takes from the 95 and then just juts out westward into Summerlin to help you get to Summerlin and the 215 faster. So that one might be a little bit quicker for you. And then, of course, you can't go without forgetting to mention that we have the airport right here. So the 215 is great because say you're in Summerlin and you want to get to the airport, you're probably going to spend more time coming down the 95 to then hit the 15 to then go to the airport than you would say if you're even in northwest Summerlin over here. You just take the 215 all the way around, and then there's this cool little tunnel pass that takes you to the airport. So that's the international airport, by the way. There are some other private airports in town too, but those are the main tricks and tips to help you navigate town so that you're not sitting in traffic and you can buy back your life, of course. So anytime you're on the surface street, it's going to take you a lot longer here. And then another important thing for us to highlight while we're looking at the map, and I'm not to drone on or anything, but when you're around the strip, sometimes you just can't avoid it. You got to go to it or you're meeting some friends. So what I want you to really learn is there's a couple cool roads. There's Koval that runs essentially parallel to the strip. Here's the strip right here, and there's the Bellagio fountain. So Koval is on, the east side of the strip. So if you drive down this, you'll probably be faster than just driving down the strip. So that's going to save you a ton of time, right? Using Koval. Another one is called Frank Sinatra. That's this road. Look at this cool road that runs right next to the freeway on the other sides of the casinos. So it's literally right behind all the casinos. That's a real magic trick that all the taxi cabs and Uber drivers know, because it'll drop you into, like, here, you take the back road into the Mirage. You don't have to sit on the strip for a half hour in traffic. You can take that one. And then another one, aside from Frank Sinatra, and also a famous singer, crooner from the olden days, is Dean Martin. Now, Dean Martin is on the other side of the 15. You see that? So sometimes it's even faster to take Dean Martin to a separate location and then cross over if the freeway's packed. So you have essentially three, not hidden roads, but helpful roads that if you're near the strip, you could take Dean Martin if you're on the west side of the strip or the freeway. And then next is Frank Sinatra. And then on the opposite side of the strip, on the other side is Koval. And then you could even go down further to Paradise. It's one more road down further. Down here that runs, that now you're starting to get it like a mile away from the strip. But long story short, those ones are helpful. And then, of course, I mentioned this a lot. I said to take DI, that's short for Desert Inn. So I'm going to show you, you could see it. If you're coming down Sahara, you have to stop at the strip. There's undoubtedly that stretch of road, albeit only a half mile, can be loaded with cars, and you'll sit at that light like 3 times through. So you sit at a 5-minute light 3 times, eat up 15 minutes of your day. So, and by the way, if you don't know this, Las Vegas has some of the longest traffic lights in America. I haven't been to every state. I've been to probably like 35 or 40 of them, but I haven't seen traffic lights sit as long as ours do. For some reason, they just are on longer timers. So going back to, here's Sahara, right? And then here's Desert Inn. So Desert Inn, look at this. So you're crossing the strip. Say you're like nearby on one side of the strip here, and you need to get to the other side without taking massive freeways around. Here's the beauty of Desert Inn, is you'll notice that it goes over the freeway. See how it goes over the 15 freeway, and then it goes over the strip. So you don't even have to deal with the strip, and then it drops you off over here like Koval and Paradise. So here's Las Vegas Boulevard. So fantastic. Actually, forgive me, it doesn't go over the strip, it goes under the strip right here. So if I dropped you on the map, you'd see it right here. That's Encore. Apologize. Let's go. Oh, that's Genting Road. Yeah, back to DI. So, yeah, that's Desert Inn right there. There, you could see it going under right there. Woo. Sorry, I'm doing terrible on my zooms right now, and I don't want to reshoot this video, but here, I'll show you the tunnel right there. Boom. Just flew over it. See it right here? It goes underneath right there. It goes underneath the strip here and then pops out on the other side. Super duper helpful, because guess what happens? If you take Spring Mountain Road, let me turn off the guy. You take Spring Mountain Road, you have to sit at the strip. If you take Flamingo, you have to sit at the strip. If you take Harmon, not really. That's kind of like a back road a little bit, but Tropicana, no different. If you're at Tropicana, you're going to sit at the light here on the strip. And imagine if it's like Formula One, the strip's closed down, so now it's even harder to get across. Or imagine it's New Year's, they close the whole strip down, it's even harder to get across. Knowing those magic roads like Desert Inn or even Harmon will help you cross the strip, even in those times of extreme busyness or parades or festivities. So that is my tips and tricks on how to get around town.
Next on our list is moving. So if you are thinking about packing up and moving, definitely do that sooner than later. You want to take that time to declutter, sell items that you're wanting to sell, post them on Facebook Marketplace or offer up, things of that nature. And definitely downsize if you can before making your move. It'll make things a lot less stressful. So that way, when you do move to your new home, when you close on that property, you're not moving items that you didn't want to really bring with you. You'll have already gotten rid of prior to that time.
And think about the time of the year too. If you don't want to be moving in the 110, you probably may not want to consider doing that in August. But again, you may not have any control over when you're going to move. But just keep those small factors in mind that it will get pretty hot, and you probably won't want to be moving on a very windy day either. And so there's just a lot of factors that you can kind of research yourself to figure out how to get the smoothest move to town. But one thing you can do is connect with us, and we'll get you a moving company that can help relocate you from state to state if you're coming from elsewhere and you have a little bit of budget for movers, or maybe you're part of a corporate relocation program that includes moving fees in there. We could direct you to some great interstate moving companies to help you make that move.
Next on our list is utilities. Now, utilities can take some time to arrange as far as electricity, water, internet. So we usually advise our clients to set up or cancel those utilities near closing day.
Definitely. And if you want to know a little bit more about what utilities will cost you, we don't have a lot of providers. We only have one energy provider called NV Energy. We have one gas provider, Southwest Gas. The water comes from the Southwest Nevada Water Authority. And then, of course, you could use Cox as our cable internet. We're also getting G Fiber or Google Fibers coming to town. But in terms of what do these bills cost you, I have to defer you again to our cost of living video. You could watch that in the description. It's going to go over all those bills so you know how much to expect for your utilities. Next segment, the housing market.
So something to know is that the housing market here in Las Vegas is rather competitive. Currently, we have 5,600 homes available on the market, and that is for single-family residences.
Inside the valley.
Inside the Las Vegas Valley. And if you are considering buying or renting, you do have to know that you may need to act fast if there is a specific home that you want, so that way you don't miss out.
Yeah, especially when you mention that, it reminds me of the new builds currently in town. Some of them are on lotteries or like waiting lists. So if you're looking to get a new build, you might be facing some competition with other buyers who are looking to purchase in that new construction community as well. But if you need a little bit more assurance or guidance with your real estate journey, reach out to us. We help people buy and sell homes all the time, and we're happy to assist you on making that right decision when it comes to finding your next place to call home.
Absolutely. We would love to help you, so don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. Make sure you check out all of our other videos and like and subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay up to date on everything Las Vegas moving forward. And also, if you're thinking about relocating to Las Vegas or selling your existing home in Las Vegas, don't hesitate to give us a call at the information in the description. And of course, if you're thinking about relocating to Las Vegas, we created a free relocation guide that will help you navigate different areas and places where you might want to choose to live. And that's pretty much everything I've got to say. So have a beautiful afternoon, and we'll see you on the next one.